Guys, JH6, and I appreciate you guys watching. So today we're going to talk about buying that first gun. And I got to tell you, a lot of you guys asked me about it, and I've been through the process a lot of times. And luckily, here in North Carolina, it's very simple. I mean, you can walk into a place and come out with a pistol in 15-20 minutes, as long as you have a concealed carry and as long as you have the paperwork that is required for it. But buying a gun for the first time, guys, could be very confusing. So a lot of you guys, and I know a lot of you guys have done it, a lot of you guys have guns. So if you guys got any advice, go ahead and put it down in the comments. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you something that I have learned, some of the do's, some of the done. So let's get started. Alright guys, so let's talk about buying the first gun. And I got to tell you guys, me personally, I think that your first firearm should be a pistol. This is mainly because a pistol could be utilized in many different ways. We're talking about home defense, we're talking about CCW, we're talking about many different applications. Now, a shotgun could be utilized at home defense, but could be, you know, it's definitely difficult to conceal. So I think a pistol should be your first firearm. But with that being said, remember guys, a pistol should be utilized to fight yourself back to a rifle. A rifle is definitely better than a pistol, but we are talking about your first gun, guys, first one. So with that being said, I definitely think that a pistol should be your first gun. Now I gotta tell you guys, some of the things that you should keep in mind before you buy a gun is your budget. You got to go out there, or you got to check your checking account or whatever you have, and you got to realize what is your budget, because there's a lot of prices. I mean, we're talking about $150 to $1,500. Now, I picked up this car CW45 for $329 brand new. I got to tell you guys, that is an amazing price, and this is a well-constructed firearm, and it has pretty decent reviews out there. So I'm definitely excited about going out there, shooting this gun, and actually putting this gun as my EDC. So I'm very excited about that. But you got to identify your budget, guys. You got to identify how much money you have, and then you have to identify what kind of gun you're gonna buy. Now obviously, if your budget's $350, your selection of guns is going to be smaller, and I'm going to talk about pistols overall, but your selection of gun is going to be smaller. So if you have $800, now the selection of pistols is going to be extremely large. So you got to know that. Now, once you identify your budget, once you identify how much money you have, and you identify what pistol you want to buy, you got to do some research, guys. And I'm talking about not just watching one video on YouTube. I'm talking about watching, 50 videos, 60 videos. I'm talking about reading articles. You want to know everything about that gun, because that's where you're going to spend your money. That's going to be your gun. You're going to depend your life on that gun. So if you don't know everything about your pistol, it's definitely not good. So you need to do some research. You need to identify every good aspect, everything that is bad, and you need to learn everything about that gun. And mainly because, again, you're gonna trust your life to it. But when you're gonna go and buy it, you want to be able to you know what you want. I gotta tell you guys, buying a gun at a gun shop could be difficult at times. Mainly because those guys may push guns on you that you don't really want. Like when I picked up this gun, the guy was pushing really didn't push, but he mentioned the car P45, which is like $200 something more, and it's pretty much the same gun. I gotta tell you guys, there's a couple of difference between this one and that one, but it's pretty much a very similar firearm. So definitely I knew what I wanted. Definitely I knew I did not want that gun, so I definitely told him no, and I picked this one up. But you got to be informed, because when you go to the gun shop, you may face some of those guys trying to sell you something else just because they have too many on stock, or whatever reason. Maybe the supervisors told them to push that specific gun on the customers. So you got to know what you want, and you got to be informed. Here's something else, guys. You got to know the caliber. And this is very important, because 45, this is a 45 versus a 9mm. there's a extreme difference. Now, a lot of guys say that a 45 is better than the 9mm. I'm not gonna get into that. I like the 9mm a lot. I trust my life to a 9mm with no issue. But now the 9mm is extremely cheaper than the 45. I mean, we're looking at a 45 costing a lot more money to shoot, which could stop you from training. So you got to keep that in mind, guys. And we go back to the budget. If you're gonna buy a gun that you can't shoot because you don't have the money, maybe that's not a good idea. We all know that training is the key to surviving. So you definitely got to know the caliber. What caliber do you want? All right, guys, lastly, I will tell you to compare some of these guns to some of the other guns in the market for about the right price. You know, this one's $329. The Shield, I seen it for about $359. So a lot of times what happens to me, and this is just me, I start looking at a gun and then I see another gun that kind of compares to that one that I like more, and I change my mind. So definitely, if you like a gun, definitely go out there and see what else is in the market for about the same price and it's similar to it, and you'll be surprised. You know, like I said, you know, a lot of times, like when I went to buy, I think it was a Glock 26, and I walked out with the M&P Shield. So again, guys, I really liked it when I saw it for the first time, and I really knew a lot about it because I saw a bunch of videos on it. But definitely go out there, see what is in the market, see what compares to it, and you know, make the best decision based on all the research that you have done. Alright, guys, if you guys like videos like this, please click like. I always appreciate when you subscribe, share my videos, and as always, God is in control.